I'm Steph, that quirky bird girl. Hold up, I just heard a Western osprey. Oh, it's a laughing kookaburra. A blue jay. And don't even get me started on the belted kingfisher.
Birds, aves, uccellis. That's birds in 3 different languages. The more you bird know.
Hit that follow and subscribe button for more bird fun. Watch my TV show one day.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to That Quirky Bird Girl. I am your host, Steph, and I am here with the one, the only, Kelly, who is an author, a researcher, and neurodivergent advocate superstar, and I am so thrilled to be here with you, Kelly. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I am so thankful to be here, to talk to you, and just all the fun things we're going to go over today.
Oh, we have so much to dive into, but first, Kelly, I want my audience to get a little familiar with who you are, what lights you up. Could you give us a little bit of your background and, what excites you?
Yeah, for sure. So, a little bit about me, business owner, advocate, researcher. I'm very passionate about connecting with the neurodivergent community. About me, I am a part of the neurodivergent community. So, I was diagnosed with specific learning disabilities at age 9, and I really, really struggled in school. I was diagnosed with things like ADHD, dyslexia, dyscalculia, auditory processing disorder, and dysgraphia. That cocktail of neurological differences, I'll say, made it really hard for me to learn. And eventually, I became 14 and I was sadly still illiterate. I went through a lot of hardship in my academic setting and my social setting because of these struggles that I faced. But my life got better. I found a school that I got to apply to that eventually taught me how to read and gave me one-on-one learning. And it went up from there. I've done a lot of success, and I worked very hard to get over the hardships and to learn things about myself that made me succeed in the future. Eventually, I decided to graduate high school, worked very hard to graduate that and to come over those challenges. And then eventually I decided to go to college. When I went to college, it opened a lot of doors for me. First time ever being out of special ed and having a lot of access to information that I didn't really have before. And at that time too, I finally kind of met this neurodivergency community, and it really just blossomed. So I started connecting with people and having these conversations, and it kind of sparked the idea of I should write a book. I have a lot of ups and downs and interesting, I'll say, interactions with individuals in the academic setting when I was younger that made my life challenging, to say the least. So I eventually wrote a book in school and I got that published, and that even more so just exploded with people reaching out to me and, hey, that sounds like my story, and these connections that I got. So it was incredible. And that kind of triggered the idea of what I could do next. So I wrote this book. I decided to get this positive energy and meeting this community. And so how else can I make a positive impact for the neurodivergency community? And I realized, well, I have all these skills, I have all these resources and knowledge, so let's make a business. So Neuro Navigation is my business, and it's lots of tools, resources, and services for our beautiful neurodivergent community. So yeah, that's a little quick background about me. Yeah.
Wow, that's so amazing, Kelly. You have such an inspirational story from going in, and you didn't mention it, but I know you shared it with me, like going from Seattle and a place in
Yeah.
Portland, and a place where you might have been like really struggling, to now taking all of those learnings and making sure that for as much as you can be a part of that role, like you're making a difference for other lives, whether it be through your research or through your books. That's so inspirational. And at some point you could have sort of decided to go in any other direction. What made you or inspired you to want to follow this like neurodivergent playbook?
That's a really good question because when I was growing up, I wanted nothing to do with the neurodivergent community. I felt a lot of shame in myself for being different and also being such an outlier. So a lot of the time, when I was younger, I was very frustrated with myself, and I'm like, oh, I just wish I was normal. I just wish I could do this, and I could have a normal group of friends and stuff like that. But really, as soon as I started college, I realized like that's not real. These ideals I have of what maybe I thought normalcy is fake. It's just an idea, a construct in my head. And there are so many beautiful people out there that are incredibly diverse, and I just really started connecting more with the people around me and kind of just understanding that it's okay to be different, especially going to an art school. There's a lot of interesting people that were very going their own way and expressing themselves. And so I think that was really helpful. But particularly too, I think what really triggered my love and deep research and knowledge about neurodiversity was the first ever science class I took, which was in college. I was in special ed until my senior year of high school. So I really did not have a lot of those electives that most people would get. So that really triggered the connection and like, wow, there's a lot more that I didn't know about. And okay, so that just really just opening doors for me from that point forward, just taking those science classes. So that's kind of where it started.
Wow, wow. I mean, it must have been, I can't imagine what it was like to go from like a system and a support that really works for you to then a new system, and you're just kind of in this classroom and adapting and growing. And like, for those of you that don't know or might not be neurodivergent that are listening in, it is, I can't say it's much harder than like a neurotypical's experience, but I can say it's really hard to be neurodivergent in a classroom that doesn't necessarily understand neurodivergence.
Yeah.
And I'm, you shared a little bit with me about your experience and kind of like pushing back against that and what that looked like. I mean, what's it been like for you to not just like be an advocate on the neurodivergent side, but also an advocate with neurotypicals?
Yeah. So, oof, that's hard because obviously everyone comes from their own
Uh-oh, thank you,
perspective of
Native
what they think they
Rose.
know. Everybody has kind of a baseline idea of maybe thinking about a certain type of person, like, oh, you have dyslexia, so you read backwards, or you're a slow reader. But I would say advocacy is so important in just clearing up that information that might not be as understood. I had I had a teacher that was my science instructor that was neurotypical. And I came to him one day, I came to him first day of class, and I said, hey, so I have these accommodations. I was hoping that we could go over them and talk about it. I sent you an email. Did you see that? And he said, yeah, I saw that email, and I'm just going to tell you now, I don't believe in any of that. And I'm like, what? What do you mean you don't believe in any of that? Starting to sweat and get nervous. And this is a one-on-one in-person conversation with him. And he
I
thought
feel
that
like
I
I
would
couldn't
maybe,
hesitate to like chuckle if someone said that to me because it seems unreal.
yeah, it was very nerve-wracking. And I'm just like, that was people before have not followed or understood my accommodations or really maybe understood how I learned. But never to my face before has someone said, I don't believe in that. It was more of the idea. In past experiences, individuals would just not follow up with the things I needed. But with this individual, he at least was clear with his communication and said, I'm not going to help you. I think that you don't need these things and that you can succeed in my class without them. And I just had to communicate and put my feet down and not in an argumentative way at all. It was a very calm conversation, but just trying to be clear and say, uh, no, listen, background about me, because I think that really helps individuals to kind of get the idea of what's going on. I just need a little bit more help than other people because my brain thinks differently. And with the things that you talked about in your class, I know I'm going to need extra help. So let's figure out how to do that together. And really holding my own and explaining that and having the confidence to do so, I think really helped and showed him. And eventually, too, long story short, he uses accommodations for other students now as well. I basically helped introduce the idea of accommodations, and not all students are trying to get out of the system or be lazy, but it's really just another perspective of needing equity and being able to reach the same boundaries that everyone else can. So, yeah.
Yeah, and those conversations are so impactful. I mean, for you, I'm sure it must have taken so much strength and resilience to say like, "Hey, so actually we're a little, we're let's approach this with a different lens." I think oftentimes those conversations, it's really hard for them to not be emotionally charged.
Yeah.
Like,
Especially too the history behind it. I was in school for a lot of my experience, and I was told no. I was told maybe later, maybe you don't need to do that. So again, this negative, really too, the history and kind of the weight behind it that maybe someone else doesn't know, but they don't know that I've had this same conversation. They don't know I've had these similar experiences of being told I can't get the assistance I need. So again, that communication is incredibly important. That's always something I really try to push on.
well, I'm so glad that you were, and I feel like at some points, like it comes down to like right place, right time, but you were at the right place to give the information, or you had the mindset to be able to deliver that information to make a difference for other students too. So that's amazing. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. I'm sure it wasn't easy, but thank you for what you did. I mean, it's led you to doing the amazing work that you're doing now, and builds into this amazing, I'm sure what might not feel amazing at times, but it is a really strong, inspiring experience that you've had.
Thank
Um,
you.
and
Yeah, I appreciate that.
of course, of course. I mean, carrying that into now your business and growing a team and the people that you want to have around you as you're building. Can you tell me a little bit about like what that's looked like and how that's been shaped through your experiences?
Yeah, absolutely. For a long time, it was just me trying to figure out when I was making this business, what do I do? What do I create? And what are people needing or wanting? So again, I looked back at my own personal experiences of education and really being out of the loop of maybe certain aspects of either what accommodations look like, or knowing my own rights and being able to know what I can ask for legally and have protection behind that. Uh, and even too, like knowing who I am or the parts that make up who I am, like what are all the encompassing parts of ADHD or dyslexia. So a lot of that type of information is in there, but that's how it started, was just trying to build off this research and how do I connect, and I build these items. But afterwards, really, I started to be like, okay, more and more steps of figuring out how else I can impact in a positive way, and that became my interns. So the really exciting for me is I just graduated college last May, and I also realized that there's a lot of students in my college and other colleges, neighboring colleges, that are looking for internships. So I said, hey, I'm a neurodivergent business owner, and if you are interested in doing these things, I will support you. So trying to reach out and try to give voices and work for neurodivergent individuals specifically, because I know too that we can, in the workspace, we might not always be picked compared to neurotypical peers because of our behavior. So again, I really just want to give that space and opportunity to our community members. So that's something else that I've been working on now. But also too, advocacy, going back to a lot of the people I advocate for and do consulting with are students, which makes me really happy too, because I, being a fresh student, know how to navigate these systems and how to communicate and to break down these things. So really helpful too to make sure I connect in a genuine way to show how I can support them, if that answers your question.
Oh my gosh, no, it fully does. I think it's so amazing that you're building a community, building a team around those same ideals that matter so much, or that you really value. And I think that that's so important, that trickles down, and that shows in your leadership, and in your ambition to want to support other folks, like through consulting, through, like, sometimes, I mean, you said it on our first call together, like sometimes telling someone what success is or what success can look like completely changes their perspective about themselves.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I'm really glad
absolutely.
that you can be that voice.
Yeah, and going into success too, I think, because our brains work a little bit differently and the paths we choose to take are also quite different. It's very easy to look at the grass is greener on the other side for peers and say, "Oh, they're successful and I'm not. How are they doing that?" Or because I'm not on the hopscotch square in front of me, that means I'm behind. When really it's perspective. I mean, like you can easily say like, "Oh, I want to be Neil deGrasse Tyson. Why am I not where Neil deGrasse Tyson is?" I've been watching his podcast, so the first person I think of about that. But it's so easy to try to be hard on yourself, and I think to those patterns of behavior are taught to us at a very young age. Of we're behind. Look at everyone around you. You're not trying hard enough. All those frustrating terms that really need to be broken down. Realize that no, you're amazing just who you are, and you're just going to be on your own path, whatever that may be. So let's work through that and see how we can start getting to where maybe you want to be.
Yeah, 100%. It almost sounds like you're taking a very like individual centered approach
Yeah,
based on your experience and your research and all this like amazing data that you've compiled, and then converting that into like, how can we make sure that this individual feels the most supported as possible. I feel like
yeah,
we're at a time, like especially post COVID, like where we need more people that are thinking on that like individualistic, but also, with the community lens, but thinking about that individual as like, how can they be advanced forward despite all of these societal and systemic, really, let's say, issues that we have, like in this country, globally, like that stop people like us at times from feeling like we can be our best selves. So,
yeah, yeah, 100%. Ugh.
yeah.
I just wish that
Yeah.
we didn't have to experience those things and those hardships as a community. And I say as a community because I had the personal experience of feeling very isolated and like I was the only one. But I mean, we're just a pattern of people in these same groups that are experiencing this over and over and over again. And not just my age, but generationally older individuals to younger individuals that are still in school now. So trying to really push the idea of, okay, how can we make this change and reduce the experiences that I had and that you had in school, makes such a big difference. So really trying to protect the other people in our community that really maybe might fall into the same struggles that we were at that point.
Yeah, 100%. It's like you almost have a layer of like foresight to where you
Yeah,
can kind of like, okay, this leads there, and this is that path, and this is that path. And you can kind of get, in the weeds with them to kind of move that path a little bit over into a direction that leads to more success in
exactly.
their definition. That's amazing. I'd love to talk about your connection to a bird. We mentioned it a little bit earlier. I won't spoil it. I'll let you take the floor, but I'm so excited.
So yes, because I watch your podcast too, I knew this question was going to come up. And with that, I've always been very connected to the mourning dove. Currently, I'm in Wisconsin, so there's like a fat little cute. They're like kind of brown and black, and they have a little bit of blue on them as well. They're just so sweet, and I love them so much. Growing up, I have family here, so I would be a young little kid looking at the fireflies and hearing the mourning doves coo, and it was just so sweet. Um, Even too, I'm also a photographer. So when I first moved to Wisconsin, I saw a mourning dove nesting in front of my house. And so I snapped a picture, and I have this very beautiful picture of this sunset with this mourning dove. And I think back a lot to that picture because it was kind of me also nesting into this new environment and like kind of growing and like kind of migrating to this new space. So it's so sweet. Also, too, I rescued a mourning dove not too long after that because there's a lot of storms here. Wisconsin is known for like their weather being crazy. It's like one day it's 70 degrees and the next day it's 30 degrees. So it's crazy with the weather. But we're like having a winter storm tonight actually, so that's why I'm bundled up with a blanket. Anywho, there was a really bad storm that happened, and this little mourning dove was kind of outside on my driveway, and I picked him up and I did lots of research to take care of them, and eventually they got better and I let them go. So I named her Storm. So every time I see a mourning dove too, I think about her, and I hope she's doing well wherever she is, and also like my personal experiences and my growth as a person. Also, their coos. Have you like coo 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 coo? They are
Oh.
so sweet. They're so sweet. I love them so much.
They're so adorable, and I love your connection to mourning doves because so many people in the Midwest, they're like, mourning doves, mourning doves. I'm like, yeah, they're like one of the classics to wake up to. Like
Yeah.
them, American robins, blue jays screaming. Like that is like the Midwestern like value pack of birds.
And they stand out
Yeah.
too. I mean, they have like their little partners that they're always kind of what usually you see them with like a partner and their little waddle. They're always like walking around, just looking at stuff. I always imagine them talking to each other like, "Oh my gosh, look at this over here. Oh, it's so cute. Don't you think that's cute?" It's like, "Oh yeah, that's really cute." I don't know. They seem like a cute little couple. I don't, their community, they're like little like I just want to squeeze them because they're like little chunky guys, you know.
Yeah. And they're like you think about them as like cousins to the rock pigeon, which is really
Hmm,
interesting because the rock pigeon's also like very resilient. They live in big cities usually, but
hmm.
you can also see them along farms. So it's cool to like teach about that connection or have a little bit of fun there.
Yeah.
When or if you do come to New York City, I have got a Morning Dove hub for you.
Gasp. Okay. I want to see. Oh my gosh, that sounds super exciting.
Yeah, they're so beautiful. And a lot of people also think with their call that they are actually owls.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah, because they have that like
Yeah.
low belly coo. So some folks will, but I think they're a great like shameless or shame free learning opportunity to where it's like, oh, guess what? Like, it's actually really cool. Those aren't owls. Like, that's a mourning dove. Like,
Mhm.
that's, yeah.
Yeah, that is
So
so cool. I mean, I didn't even think about like their call is so different to other birds, like because the other birds are like a higher frequency and they are definitely like a lower. I wonder why. You think it's like their body shape that makes it that way? Huh.
that's a good question. I will say rock pigeons do like not the same coup, but a similar coup.
Hmm.
Like if you're ever, it sounds like I'm talking about a coup d'état. No, I'm talking about a coup like a COO. If you walk by them, they'll do this like, and I'm gonna mimic it because for those of you watching the video, you have to see this. They do this like head thing where they go, and the young will do it even more. Have you heard that?
Wait, no, I'm thinking of a different bird though. I think they're in Australia and they have like that head walk, but then they walk with like their legs, so they have like this like almost Egyptian walk. That just like reminded me of it, but like that kind of body like
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with Australian birds. You know what? like as soon as you finished mentioning that, I was like, I'm going to run to my Australian book to look and find this bird because I don't totally know which one you're talking about, but I will
Yeah.
in an hour.
They're not particularly eye-catching in the sense of they're like long-legged, but then not too long-legged, but they're also quite small. They're a little bit round and they're like kind of brownish. I feel like they make like a quack sound, like wah, wah. I feel
Oh,
like coming
interesting.
from,
I
I'm pretty sure they're from Australia.
is there any chance we're talking about the laughing kookaburra?
No, I love kookaburras,
Oh
but
my gosh,
no, I
I
don't
have a
think.
plush. They're the
Guys, they're so cute.
best.
I love kookaburras, especially too on Bluey, them like showing the kookaburras as well. I love their call. I love their call. Like, I used to practice
Oh,
like mimicking it, but I won't for this podcast to save my embarrassment. But
oh, I will. I mean, we can do it in unison if you'd like, because I would totally do it. It's that like kick, 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 kick.
so
Like
cute.
they're
I love it so
truly the
much.
best.
There, and also
Yeah.
too, have you seen like videos of people in Australia recording it and they're like, "Hey, get out of here, mate." And they're just kind of annoying nuisance, but they're just kind of they're very chill, but they're just kind of always around trying to like just loitering, which birds can do,
Yeah.
you know. They can sit wherever they want, but it's so cute.
Oh, the way that I was like, I'm gonna go to Sydney, I'm gonna do the marathon, and then I'm gonna see the Laughing Kookaburra because that's like a hub for the Laughing Kookaburra.
Ooh.
And because like you said, like that in such a great point and good observation too. It's they are backyard birds. So imagine just hopping out of your backyard and you see one of the most beautiful birds you've ever seen in your whole entire life.
And they're really
Like that's
chill. Have you seen, yeah, because like people kind of
truly
walk up to them. They're like pigeons in the sense of like they're just there. They got good vibes.
such good vibes. They bring the vibes, they bring everything. They're the best.
They are the
So I'm so
best.
glad you mentioned them, but I'll have to look up the bird, the one that I'm not able to think of, I guess.
I wish I'd thought
That's
of the name, but I can't
awesome.
remember either.
It'll come to us. ADHD does that. It'll just like, do you ever, anytime I meet up with an ADHDer and my brain, well, really just like anytime, and my brain just like forgets whatever I was about to say, I tell them, like, you know what? It'll come back to me. Because ADHD, it's the boomerang thought, you know?
It's just cycling around and it'll eventually come back. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like a carousel. Just wait until the horse like comes back around and then boom, you're good.
I love that. I have not heard that description before, but I think that is very accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. And also when you're like stressing trying to remember something like what was it? What was it? You're never going to remember the thing. And even if you
Mm-mm.
do, it's usually not in the full context, but when I tell my brain, I don't know why I like to talk about it in third person, but when I tell my brain like, "Hey, you're good. Like you got this. It'll come back to you. Like I trust you." There's something that happens where I just like, "Oh, I remember it now," you know?
Comes back. Maybe it's too, it's like the open neurons, it's like not as stressed, so it's like closing panels of information. That might be something as well. I might look into that actually.
That
It's interesting.
yeah, that's really interesting. I think you do have a point because it does feel like all the alarms go off
Yeah.
when I'm like, it's okay. You got time. You got all the time in the world, you know?
That just takes me
Yeah.
back to I was doing for school, I was doing like a presentation on like, I was doing a study on like benthic invertebrates, which are like little bugs that live in like streams. They're like really, really small. And I was doing this presentation and I practiced a whole bunch, but there was like a specific word I really needed to remember and say, and I blanked out on it. Of course, because I just was like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't remember this word. I need to remember it, and just the stress of that, I guess, just makes it evaporate.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
so easy to do. It's just about functioning and how my brain works. So I can't be mad at it. Just got to know that it does that sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And it'll help you out. It'll bring it back later. But yeah, I found there was one part I was giving a speech and there was one part of my speech that was like, I can't forget this one piece. Like this piece is really important. Just like you said, like And guess what I did? I totally forgot that part of the speech. Like, and I stood on that stage when I tell you, like, I went from like delivering to immediately I did this. And I was like, one moment. And I walked over to my note card. I took a deep breath, read the note card, remembered what I was going to say, and I was right back on track. But sometimes it's like that pressure, gotta just like move through it and let it kind of like wave out before we can like coast, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. 100%. It's a good mindset to have too, to try to be confident in yourself and know that things are going to be okay even when you make mistakes, and try to roll with it because we're all human. We all make mistakes. We all forget words. You know what I mean? So it's okay. So you just
Yeah,
trust yourself and try to get back onto it. I love that.
exactly. And it allows for us to connect to other people. Like if I didn't have that blunder or like that moment, then like we couldn't have this like moment of connection too about ADHD and, you know, sometimes forgetfulness, however we might want to label it. Like I think sharing about those mistakes, those blunders, I think ultimately it like brings us closer together.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It's so easy to connect with like, yeah,
And
I did
on
that too.
yeah. Right, it's like, okay, I've been there, like I get it. You know.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Ugh.
Oh, I mean, on that same note, you've done so many amazing things and you've built so much. I mean, what I hear from you, what I heard from you on our first initial conversation too, is just this like beacon of radical hope. Like, how do you do it? Like, tell me more. Share your tips and tricks.
I am happy to. So, it takes a long time to get there, if that makes sense. It wasn't overnight where I had the courage to keep going and to keep fighting. Really, I had to support on other individuals to also give me strength, if that makes sense. Especially when I was growing up, I definitely expect like when I was illiterate and I was 14, at that point, I very much gave up on learning and thinking about my future and all that stuff. So very hard headspace to be in. But I had people like my mom and other teachers that were helpful and did instill a sense of you can do this and I believe in you. And so I think that was a really good turning point for me in the sense of I had that support verbally, even though when I heard it, I would get frustrated and be like, no, that's not true. You don't believe that. But really, they did. And that support, even if I didn't believe it at the time, was there. And that really helped instill the idea that even if I can't always have the strength to give support for myself, that there will be other people out there that will do that for me. So that was something I was very thankful for, and I have very fond memories of family and some instructors that were just supportive of me. But learning that and getting through those hardships, I think I would say when I really started to learn how to read, so 15, 16, that's when I started gaining a lot more hope and confidence in myself. And that's where I started to realize that I can also put faith in myself because I'm seeing these positive results of what I'm doing. So it kind of just started growing from there where, okay, I can do this and I can do that. And then meeting other kids and also trying to have this positive outlook. I was always a positive kid, but I feel like maybe I would be overly toxic positivity because that's just something I had to force myself to do, even when I didn't really believe or say like, yeah, I'm good, or yeah, oh yeah, this is great. And maybe I didn't always feel that way, but really just learning to let those things go and to start learning more about yourself, I think kind of turns it around and being more positive. Oh, this truck flying in the background. That's cool. Um, but anywho, it's so fun to watch my background, see what's going on there. Getting distracted. But
It's the ADHD. It's part of the process. Yeah.
exactly. But being able to distill, I think just really figuring out having confidence in being in knowing it's okay to be different really was greatly impactful for me. And then, as soon as I started feeling really solid about myself, I started to do that for other people, which gave me even more hope and more strength to start working towards the idea of like, okay, I can support other people and not just myself. So even to really getting energy from other people, either them giving me supportive energy or I'm giving other people supportive energy, really made a difference, I would say.
That's so special, and I love that part of your journey has been you sort of taking those same learnings of the people that believed in you and then dispelling them to other people and making sure that they feel, heard and seen and supported. And I think ultimately, we've talked about community so many times in this podcast episode. I'm going to do it another time. Like, you're ultimately building community, safe, neurodivergent community. And I think that we, and we're an ever growing population too. Like, so many more people are getting diagnosed. The diagnostic criteria is constantly changing. But that just means we can help more people. And I think
Exactly.
that's so exciting. Yeah, that you're doing the work that you're doing. I mean, at the end of the day, like, what fills your cup in all of that? I know you mentioned what makes you
Mm.
happy, but
Oh, that is such a good question. I would say I think my two main big things that I would get that really fill my cup is first interacting and connecting and supporting how I can with the community. When I talk to my interns or when I talk to my people that I'm consulting, I just get a lot of hope and happiness from speaking with them, even if they're not always the best conversations. Like if we're talking about hardships or, oh, this teacher said something I didn't really appreciate. I still I get a lot of hope and strength from just talking to people and connecting. It just makes me incredibly happy. And also too, another thing that really kind of pushes me is research and data. I find it really interesting in the sense of these patterns, these overall patterns, and then looking closer and closer at these smaller patterns that either I can connect it to my own life or see what other people have experienced or going through, and using that tool to again go back to my community and try to help how I can. So those are kind of my two big things that really like fuel my fire.
wow, that's so amazing. I mean, like, and it's so needed right now. I mean, we were talking about like post-COVID environments and like
Yeah.
how we can support each other, but even just offering like all of the amazing tools and resources that you have available for free on your website. I mean, that in and of itself is just such an amazing, like, I commend you for all of the amazing work that you've done and the love that you've poured into this mission that you have and this drive and passion. I think that that carries into how other people will lead their life. And you are definitely the type of person, and I can feel it, that you speak to them and you change people. So just keep going. I
Thank
love
you.
the amazing things you're doing. Yeah. um, and there was one question I wanted to ask, which was your future. Like, what is next for you? How can people continue supporting you, and follow along your journey?
That's a great question. So I would say really to connecting with the neurodivergent community is something that I'm really passionate about. So I have something on my website called the Neurodivergent Cafe, which is a group of individuals that are all neurodivergent or parents as well that talk on there and swap information. So that's something that I think would be really great, just so you could join a community. I know that's really important, as well as I would say just check out my resources if you think that you know somebody who might want this stuff, or if you personally could use this information. Neuronavigation.org is a great place to go. Or even too, if you just want to talk to me and get to know me, my LinkedIn is just Callie VanZant. It's like my little name right there. Um, that you could also check out. Um, and I would say for the future, I want to keep connecting with people. I want to keep meeting people. Oh, hi, Kitty. Oh, so sweet. And I want to grow this business. For example, I've connected with a lot of people outside of America because neurodivergency is not a particular issue that's focused on one place or one type of people. And the struggles of dyslexia or ADHD falls all over the world. And so connecting with more people through that and meeting more individuals and sharing those resources and changing the language is something that I'm also very passionate about. So just trying to grow and spread this information as far as I can and connection.
Oh, I love that. Yes, everyone could use your resources, tools, tips, and tricks globally, domestically. Kelly, you're going to do amazing things and make such a difference. I can feel it in my bones.
Yeah, I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
of course, of course. It was so great to have you on. Yeah, y'all, as Kelly mentioned, you can find her on her site. I'll have it linked down in the bio for you as well. And then also, if you want to connect on LinkedIn, I'll also drop in that LinkedIn link and check out also Kelly's book.
Oh yes,
We'll
please
link
check out my
in.
book. If you want to know more about my story and my hardships, I have a lot more nitty-gritty information and also resources in my book too that are also free if you purchase it. So it's right here. I have it just in case. So please check it out if
Yay!
you'd like to learn more. But yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, and for those of you that might not be watching on video, Kelly's book is called Silenced Plea. And can it be found on Amazon?
Yes, it can. And you can also
Okay,
check it
and
out
also
too
on
on my
your
website.
website.
Yep. Yep.
Perfect. Website is the preferred vendor, y'all. There we go. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kelly. It was so great learning more about you, your interest in mourning doves, which I always piques mine. But yeah, thank you for everything that you do and just being a beacon in this community.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just very thankful to have connected with you and got to know you a little bit more. You have such a beautiful and happy presence, and I'm just so appreciative to even have these conversations with you. You are making such good work and giving voices to individuals that need them. So thank you. I know that you do so much hard and amazing work. So, I mean, claps to you for everything that you've done. So thank you. I'm very thankful.
Oh, so much love in this room, y'all. Thank you, Kelly, for joining. Um, thank you, everyone, for watching. Be sure to hit the subscribe button, like, comment, share. Share with everyone you know that's neurodivergent. Share it with people who aren't neurodivergent. Get a little fun, quirky with us. I love you guys, and we'll see you on the other side. Bye.